President Tinubu engages Nigerians in Japan, emphasizes diaspora support to rebuild the nation's economy.
You can be assured Nigeria will meet all your expectations. The changes that we embark upon is all about us.
Vice President Kashim Shettima restates commitments to strengthening national security institutions as National Defense College graduates course 33.
You have been equipped to lead with vision and courage. I'm confident that you will make your mark in your institution.
And First Lady meets traditional and religious leaders in Lagos seek support of governance institutions to adopt and invest in Renewed Hope initiative.
We have to give our children this vaccine to prevent cervical cancer.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Lami Ali. We're live in Abuja, bringing you the latest stories and updates from across Nigeria. Benny Adams is here with the trending news from the world of business. So Benny, what's new?
Well, it's sharing news that in the history of revenue sharing, the federal government has also shared more than 2 trillion to states as well as local government. Just as the investors in Nigeria's capital market are smelling home with billions of naira after 3 consecutive days of losses. More details during the bulletin.
And of course, in our sports corner, Badi Adile will be highlighting the key happenings in the world of sports.
Well, Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle has released the provisional list for invited players for the crucial World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa.
Details in the course of the bulletin. This newscast is streaming live on our website, nta.ng/live. NTA is on X as NTA News Now, and you can also follow us across other social media platforms. Our handles are displayed on the screen. So let's begin from Japan, where President Bola Tinubu is reassuring Nigerians home and in the diaspora that his government is building a new Nigeria that would meet their expectations. Addressing a cross-section of Nigerians residents in Japan, the president called for the diasporans' contributions to accelerate the expected growth in Nigeria. State House correspondent Musmat Wahab reports.
On the margins of the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, President Tinubu opted to feel the pulse of his citizens in Japan and perhaps to elicit their contribution in the Project Nigeria.
Sir, on this historic occasion of your participation in TICAD 9, your presence here marks a profound moment of pride and unity for Nigerians in the diaspora, and we are deeply honored to receive you in the land of the rising sun.
These established individuals in various fields, including academics and entrepreneurs, are aware of the policy reforms and decisions of the current government, which they agree are necessary for growth.
And we've been seeing the reforms you are doing in Nigeria. It is tough to make the right decisions, just like a father tells a child, go and study. We don't want to study, we want to play. But the reforms you have done so far in Nigeria, the things you have put in place are foundations that will catapult Nigeria to the next level in the next generations to come. I'm really grateful for that. And with all that, personally look forward to going home and investing more in Nigeria.
With Nigeria's economy recovering and so widely acknowledged by global bodies, the presidential team also presented the opportunities available for the diasporans to key into.
Several years ago as governor, he was here, and that the things he promised and pioneered are the things upon which Lagos today is developing. That is the kind of future that we're expecting for our country with this president.
Of our nation's oil industry is now developed by local corporates raising money from Nigerians in diaspora, raising money from international financial institutions, and contributing actively to the economy.
From the beginning of this administration, we have no product on the shelf. Everything was just prototype. And today we have 40 market-ready products. We're also building a 40-hectare renewable industrial park, an electric vehicle factory, and so many others. So Mr. President's policy has opened up the door, and we've seen diasporas and companies from all over the world coming into Nigeria, making commitments.
The diasporans attest to the gains of the reforms as manifesting with the easier access to and renewal of international passports, and President Tinubu wants them to believe in the possibility of a new Nigeria where things work.
Now, if that nationality document is reflecting the expectation of all of you, so you can be assured Nigeria will meet all your expectations. The changes that we embark upon is all about us as a people and leadership of Africa. Don't take it lightly.
Assuring of economic stability, social interventions and efforts leading to the reversal of medical tourism, he invites Nigerians in the diaspora to come contribute to the growth so desired.
For the economic growth and opportunity that is available in Nigeria, don't stay away. Your contribution is very much in need. If we stay away, who will build it? If we don't join hands and work together, then we've lost the hope of being the leader that we're supposed to be. Your citizenship is in your passport. Your person is your character. And I can give you the assurance we are seeing the beginning of Nigerian rising.
And as the government strives to sustain the leading role of Nigeria in Africa, the president wants the diasporans to continue to project and protect the integrity of the country across the world. From Yokohama, Musbah Dan Wahab, NTA News.
In a developing story, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Yokohama, Japan on Thursday night to Brazil, where he will begin a state visit on August 24th. President Tinubu will have a stopover in Los Angeles before continuing his journey to Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. President Tinubu began his two nations visit on Friday, August 15th, when he departed Abuja. He and his entourage stopped over in Dubai, UAE, and arrived in Yokohama early in the morning on August 18th. In a statement, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, indicates that after attending the opening ceremony and plenary of the 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development, TICAD 9, on August 20, President Tinubu held some bilateral meetings, culminating in the interactive session with diaspora Nigerians on Thursday night. In an effort to deepen cultural diplomacy and strengthen bilateral ties, the government of Japan has named the city of Kisarazu as the hometown for Nigerians willing to live and work in the country to promote economic growth and enhance workforce productivity. Under this new partnership announced on the sidelines of the 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development, the Japanese government will create a special visa category for highly skilled, innovative and talented young Nigerians who want to move to Kisarazu to live and work. Artisans and other blue-collar workers from Nigeria who are ready to upskill will also benefit from the special dispensation visa to work in Japan. Japan International Cooperation Agency, in a ceremony, also named the cities of Nagai in Yamagata Prefecture, the hometown of Tanzania, Sanyo in Niigata Prefecture, the hometown of Ghana, and Imabari in the Ehime Prefecture, the hometown of Mozambique. Through the arrangements, Japan looks to strengthen exchanges with the 4 African countries by officially connecting municipalities with existing relations with those nations. Nigeria's charge d'affaires, Mrs. Florence Akinyemi, also the acting ambassador to Japan, and Yoshikuni Watanabe, the mayor of Kisarazu, received the certificate from the Japanese government naming Kisarazu the hometown of Nigerians. The four cities will foster a foundation for two-way exchanges for manpower development that will add value to the economic growth of Japan, Nigeria, and the other three African nations. Kisarazu was the official host town of the Nigerian contingent for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Consequently, the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced a $5.5 billion of new investment in Africa to stimulate economic growth. He emphasized the importance of mutual understanding, local solutions, and collaborative efforts for Africa's development. The Prime Minister outlined Japan's focus on private sector-led sustainable growth, youth and women empowerment, and regional integration. Prime Minister Ishiba acknowledged the challenges of Japan's aging population, but emphasized that locally rooted solutions are essential for Africa's development. He appealed to African countries to assist Japan as it grapples with the challenges of a declining population and shrinking agricultural land. Nigeria and Japan have agreed to strengthen bilateral cooperation, focusing on energy, agriculture, infrastructure, and the digital economy. The commitment was made during a meeting between Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga and his Japanese counterpart Takeshi Iwaya on the sidelines of the TICAD 9 summit. Yusuf Tuga highlighted Nigeria's economic reforms to attract investments. The ministers also discussed regional security and enhanced multilateral cooperation. Tuga invited his counterparts to Nigeria and proposed a new strategic partnership framework to guide future relations. It was a successful outing for Nigeria as the just concluded Tokyo International Conference on African Development TICAD held in Yokohama, Japan. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu led the Nigerian delegation to the roundtable. Now, to tell us more on the benefits of the engagements to the nation's development are two guests joining us via Zoom. We have a development economist, Professor Ken Ife, joining us from London, United Kingdom. And we also have the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs, Ademola Oshodi, who is joining us from Los Angeles. Now, thank you for joining us on the news. I'm going to start off with Mr. Oshodi. We want you to tell us the specific opportunities and partnerships that President Tinubu secured for Nigeria during the TICAD conference in Japan and how these aligns with the country's development goals.
Thank you. It's quite straightforward. Nigeria went there with the agenda to seek a closer partnership with the Japanese, the third largest economy in the world. And we relatively achieved that in areas of power, energy, and also industrialization and connectivity. That's with obviously the e-commerce and communication on the web and business through the internet communication. So it's been a wide range of things that we sought after, and relatively we achieved all that. Japan promised a 5.5 billion assistance to Africa, a lot of it coming through their JICA, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency. So we have a collaboration whereby the Japanese also invested in areas for green energy, especially that 5.5 billion has a lot of its incorporation of green energy emission and ensuring that, I will believe it upsets Japanese industrialization by investing in green energy in Africa, which, is quite low in industrial matters. The other big part, of course, was this diaspora engagement. The president meeting the Nigerian population there, at least a representative of them, a wide representative, and ensuring that the government is, it's showing them that its agenda, it's for Nigeria, and their partnership is extremely important. But I think the caveat is also the fact that the Japanese government now brought up this this residence work permit thing for Nigerians at a certain location in their country, encouraging skilled workers, artisans to come and work and live in Japan. Japan is losing its population rapidly. I think last year they lost a net 900,000 people. So they're really losing people. So having a young, skilled force from Nigeria would help, put things in balance for them. But it's a bit notable though, was the Nigerian president encouraging the diaspora population to return back home to contribute, and the same breath, the Japanese government inviting Nigerians to come and work and live in Japan. So that's something we should note.
All right, Mr. Oshodi, let me now go to Professor Ife to hear his own views. Prof, you've heard the various opportunities and partnerships that the Nigerian government was able to secure during the TICAD 9 conference in Japan. We want you to give us your own perspective on these opportunities that are now available for Nigerians.
I like very much about the president's visit is where you actually started, talking to the Nigerian diaspora. So the charge is not, we're not asking them to come home. We want investments to flow into Nigeria. If Japan has given us a twinning opportunity, which is what has driven integration in Europe, then we should reciprocate. And it's not giving us a slump. It's not going to be somewhere you are going to create a Nigerian slump. It has to be a high-tech city. It has to be the Alaba market of this world. It has to be a Silicon Valley of this world, where we can see vibrancy in Nigerian entrepreneurship, fully connecting with counterparts in Nigeria. So that's where it becomes great, because normally Japan doesn't talk about FDI. They just tell you, they bring their money, they call it development, but it's still a soft loan, which you have to repay. So we have to use the opportunity that they create. It's like when Obasanjo came in his second term. He was going around and saying, I want you home. And I asked him in London, bringing us home, for what? He said, oh, no, stay there, but bring your investment. So Nigeria is in dire need of investment.
All
and
right,
then
Professor,
you see, there's some connection.
Prof.
There's a 20,000
All right.
train.
Prof, can you hear me? Prof, can you hear me? All right, I want us to move on. You've talked about the contributions that the diaspora Nigerians can also make to the economy. Of what impact is that going to be, especially to our young unemployed Nigerians back home that need so much skill, that need so much exposure from their counterparts, that is, their citizens that are in other countries?
Yeah, I was driving to that, because we now have our own program of training 3 million IT, and then they are bringing 30,000 IT across Africa, Japan, to train on AI. So there's a connection there. You know, it's like India connecting with US through the Silicon Valley. And when you ask Modi who runs the world, he tells you that, I don't know, but the 100 biggest companies in the world are run by Indians. Look at it. Just go and look at Oracle, Apple, all of them. The former managing director is Indian. This one is Indian. They want to take over are Indians. It wasn't. It was by design. So Nigeria has an opportunity now, momentous opportunity, and the trade war is also turning Japan to look more and talk about industrialization in the agenda, not just. It's a momentous opportunity, and I'm glad the president is addressing it with the right cohort. It is our people there that can bring partners, Japanese partners, to come and invest in Nigeria. It is our people there that will provide that link. Ghana is using their own people in export of yam, export of products, and link. So we will use our own strategically. That's what I pick, that I so beneficial in the president's approach.
All right. So, Mr. Oshodi, now on a final note, what steps will the Nigerian government take to follow up on the commitments and partnerships established during the TICAD conference, and how will the country measure the success of these initiatives going forward?
Our delegation had a lot of its cabinet members there. There was the Minister of Trade and Industry, there was the Minister of Power, there was also people from the private sector and quite a few others. So it's that bilateral, that side meetings that would be very key. The president opens up and brings everybody along, and they meet their Japanese counterparts and also meet other African partners there also. But the key here is to ensure that the president's agenda, his domestic agenda, fits in with this, and it does. This is bringing in investments. The Nigerian diaspora brings in over $20 billion every year into the Nigerian economy through so many areas of in construction, education, in banking, farming. So it's to ensure that collaboration and the seamless relationship with the Nigerian government and the diaspora continues. But the main important aspect of this is to ensure we have strong partnership with big industrial countries like Japan, ensuring that our agenda fits in with theirs. They want to bring in Nigeria for skills, and they want to support Africa because of their own greenhouse and their own issues of diversity. Nigeria also needs that technological advancement and the partnership.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your perspectives, Mr. Ushodi. We honestly do not have enough time. We would have loved to go on this conversation because of its importance to driving economic growth in Nigeria and also in Japan. We thank you for your comments. We also thank you, Professor Ife, for your contributions to the conversation. You're watching News at 9 on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We take a break now to bring you more stories in a moment. Do stay. You're welcome back. The National Defense College will be well equipped with adequate facilities to maintain its position as Defense Postgraduate University to squarely address contemporary security challenges in Nigeria and allied nations. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this as the graduation ceremony. Of course, 33 participants of the National Defense College, Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima at the National Defense College in Abuja to confer fellowship to the 99 participants of course 33 of the college.
I have the singular honor and privilege to present to you our distinguished graduates.
Themed Strengthening Institutions for National Security and Development in Nigeria.
Graduates of course 33. You step out today into a world more volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous than when you began your course last year. Global economic headwinds, the war in Ukraine, the disruptive cost of emerging technologies, the threats in cyberspace, and the unsettling resurgence of unconstitutional changes of government in our region on the backdrop of your service. But you have been prepared for this moment. You have been trained to think and act strategically. You have been equipped to lead with vision and courage. I am confident that you will make your mark in your institution, in your ministries and departments, and in your countries.
The Apex Military Training Institution for the Nigerian Armed Forces and other allied nations also serves as a center of excellence for peace support operations training at strategic levels. The participants received awards on Best Research Projects and top 3 awards in order of merit for the graduates. And these participants, with 23 from 19 countries, are expected to translate the knowledge and experience gained into selfless service to their nations, anchored on integrity, discipline, and patriotism. From the National Defense College, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Now, in a significant development, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of a new management team for the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. The new appointees are Rotimi Pedro from the Southwest as Director General, Karima Bello representing Northwest as Executive Director, Marketing, Stella Dean Jacob from the North Central as Executive Director, News, and Sophia Ishamed from the Northeast as Managing Director, NTA Enterprises Limited. The President has tasked the new team to work collaboratively to reposition and revitalize NTA during driving innovation and excellence in service delivery. The new management team faces the challenge of leveraging their expertise to propel NTA to greater heights, aligning with the President's vision for a revitalized and impactful national broadcaster. Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, has congratulated Stella Dean Jacob on her appointment as the new Executive Director of News of the NTA. Marwa, in a statement, describes the new EDN as a seasoned broadcaster, pledging support and cooperation of the NDLEA in the anti-drug advocacy. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has appealed to state governors to work with her in empowering women and youths in the country by adopting and investing in renewed hope initiative programs for broader impact on Nigerians. She made the appeal during an interactive session with members of the Lagos State Traditional Rulers Council and religious leaders at the State House in Marina. The engagement is a platform to brief the leaders on the RHI interventions, measure the impact in their various domains and answer their questions, particularly those bordering on their roles in constitutional governance.
What should be their constitutional role in an emerging Nigeria and how to realize it is the big issue that the traditional rulers, through the Ayogbure of Ikorodu, Oba Adewale Shotobi, brought to the meeting alongside other demands.
We request for greater partnership and collaboration with the nation and international institution organizations in building structures, food market, and logistics hub to combat the menace of food insecurity and to improve the well-being of our citizens.
Acknowledging their demands, including the desire to see the 37 LCDAs in the state recognized and included in the Constitution, the First Lady highlighted the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution as one of the ways forward.
They are the ones to take certain of these demands to the National Assembly so that when they are having constitution amendment, we can look into it, but we'll start lobbying for that. So, because we know how legislation is, it takes a long process. But, you know, we hear you, and we thank God that the person who proposed it is now the president. So I believe that whatever it takes, before the end of this administration, I think God will move on that.
Past, ongoing, and planned interventions of RHI to empower women, the girl child, and youth in key areas such as agriculture, health, education, and economic empowerment also featured in the interactive session, with the First Lady enlisting the support of state governors and other leaders for broader and sustainable impact.
And with HPV, I know all the KBCs know about that. We have to give our children this vaccine to prevent cervical cancer. Encourage people in your domain. It doesn't cause infertility. It's just a myth. Please help us promote that. It will save a lot of lives.
Our religious leaders, this government prioritizes everything you're doing for us and your intervention in all spheres of life.
As part of our activities while in Lagos, the First Lady will empower 700 women in the Southwest Zone in partnership with the Sustainable Development Goals Office. In Lagos, Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Renewed Hope Initiative Food Outreach Scheme has donated food items to vulnerable women and groups in Lagos State. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who was represented by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shetima, noted that apart from the RHI, there are plans to launch other economic programs this year. Adiola Komiakiri completes the report.
This was the atmosphere that greeted the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who was represented by the wife of the Vice President Hajia Nana Shetima. The items include bags of rice, cartons of pasta, bags of sugar, soya oil and semovita. The Renewed Hope Initiative Lagos State Coordinator and wife of a state governor, Dr. Ebijoke Sanwo-Olu, said the program, which has made significant impact across the geopolitical zones of the country, will also make a huge difference in the lives of beneficiaries of the state.
It will also empower those groups through economic empowerment and social investment programs with the aim of fostering a culture of community engagement and support for those in need.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu appreciated Hajia Nana Shetima's loyalty to the First Lady.
This is what Mr. President is all about. He's a man of the people. He's a man that ensures all of the people that are here, they are a product of Asiwaju. That is the person that they know. He's one that taught us that the only means of purposeful governance is to touch the grassroots.
The national chairman, RHI, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in her speech read by Hajia Nana Shetima, said this act of kindness has been made possible through the generous support of two donors.
We launched the SDG/Renewed Hope Initiative Women Empowerment Program for the Southwest Zone here in Lagos State, which aims to equip women with tools such as freezers, cookers, ovens, and generators to start or grow their existing businesses. In addition, on Monday, 25th August, we will also launch the Renewed Hope Initiative and Tony Elimelu Foundation Women Economic Empowerment Program.
The initiative has continued to receive commendation.
This field is known to her. She's very conversant with the field, and what she knows how to do is to help the people.
Any state that is tall, you will know say they always do good.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program Food Outreach Scheme of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has been lauded by many who advise the beneficiaries to use the food items to bless their families and not to sell them. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. We take another break. Do stay tuned. National Assembly are assuring of needed support to the Nigerian armed forces in the fight against insurgency, banditry and other criminal activities in the state. The Katsina National Assembly caucus was at the Defense Headquarters to brief the Chief of Defense Staff on the security situation in the state. Correspondent Isa Mohammed has more.
The recent spate of attacks on innocent people in Katsina State by bandits prompted the interface between the lawmakers, the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff to tackle the situation.
We would like to request for additional support and a special attention to be given to the state. Why are we here is because our people have confidence in the Nigerian military.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, assures the delegation of establishing a battalion in Manufashi to serve that axis.
I promise you I will do my best to make sure that we stabilize the place, inject more soldiers, inject more combat enablers. But we need your support. It's very important because without your support, we can't do anything.
It will be recalled that bandits attack Gidam Mantau community in Manufashi local government area of Katsina State that led to the death of innocent Nigerians. From Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has extended his deepest condolences to the families of the deceased, the people of Malumfashi and the Katsina State governments over the killing of worshippers. The federal government has vowed to hunt down and bring to justice the perpetrators of the heinous killing. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement said security forces are already on the trail of the criminals and no stone will be left unturned until they are apprehended and held accountable for their actions. He assured Nigerians that justice will be swift and decisive and that such acts of terror will never be allowed to take root in the country, describing the act as not only an assault on the people of Malumfashi, but also on the shared humanity and values of the nation. The minister acknowledged the arrest of top leaders of a savage group of terrorists, including Mahmoud al-Nigeri of the Mahmouda group and his deputy Abu Abba, alongside Mahmoud Muhammad Usman Abu Bara of the Ansaru group, who are now conveniently in the net as a positive step in the war against insurgency as directed by President Tinubu. Members of the Senate Committee on Northwest Development Commission have pledged to complement the efforts of the executive in ensuring the smooth operations of the commission to achieving sustainable development in the region. The chairman, Senator Babangida Usaini, gave the assurance while on an oversight to the temporary office of the commission in Kano, currently undergoing renovation. Abdullahi Mustafa brings us the details.
Respecting the ongoing renovation of the temporary office of the Northwest Development Commission in Kano, the senators expressed happiness with the level of work done so far. Chairman of the Senate Committee, Babangida Usaini, therefore urged the contractors to ensure its timely completion to enable the commencement of operations towards development of the region. While acknowledging the quality of work being done, the chairman commended the foresight of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in creating the Northwest Development Commission. Managing Director of the Commission, Professor Shehu Abdullahi Maaji, noted that its establishment would help in addressing infrastructural deficits and promote inclusive growth across the Northwest Zone.
We had established some milestones that we expect the commission, the management of the commission, to be able to have met at a certain period of time. And we are happy to see that things are working well and we are on site to actually follow up on our resolutions.
We have enumerated our challenges, which include the use of accommodation, facilities, funding, and other issues, with the promise to support.
The senators also inspected the land donated by Kano State government for the construction of a permanent headquarters.
Agriculture has again taken center stage as Jigawa State plays host to a high-powered Liberian delegation, with both sides seeking stronger collaboration to boost food production and achieve self-reliance across Africa. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that Governor Umar Namadi says transforming agriculture remains one of the most critical pathways for African nations to attain economic self-reliance.
Governor Namadi, while receiving the Liberian Deputy Minister of Agriculture, outlined key policies implemented under his administration in the last 2 years, including the procurement of 300 tractors for farmers, the construction of industrial boreholes for upland irrigation farming, mass empowerment programs targeting the agricultural sector, and the distribution of subsidized fertilizer, among others. The governor, who identified climate change as a major challenge to rainy season farming, stressed the need to expand irrigation projects, partner with private investors, and establish an agricultural research institute.
Agriculture is the only way forward for Africans. Because as long as we cannot feed ourselves, we are nowhere. What we are aiming at, by 2030, we should be able to produce 50% of the Nigerian rice requirement in Jigawa State.
We in Africa, we have been looking too far to the West, going to China, going to America, going there to find solution that we can find right in here in West Africa. So this time around, we decided we are not going to go anywhere far. We are going to go to our brothers in Nigeria to see what they are doing there.
The Nigeria delegation is expected to tour rice farms in different parts of the state as part of the study visit in the next couple of days. From Tusi, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Benny has updates from the world of business. Benny, you're on.
Thank you, Lami. Now talking business, the federal government has just shared 2.001 trillion naira as revenue for July 2025 through the Federation Account Allocation Committee. This is the highest in the history of revenue sharing in the country. A communique shared by FARC indicates that from the 2.1 trillion total distributable revenue, the federal government received 735.081 billion naira, the state received 660.34 billion, and the local government received 485.039 billion, while the sum of 120.359 billion was shared to benefit in state as derivation revenue. In July 2025, petroleum profit tax, oil and gas royalty, electronic money transfer levy, and excise duty increased significantly, while value-added tax and import duty increased marginally. Now, stakeholders in the Nigerian project emphasize that Nigeria's growth and development depends more on values and collective mindset than on policies alone. This was at the Kaduna edition of Development as Attitude, a national dialogue series organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group in partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The dialogue seeks to interrogate the cultural, institutional, and attitudinal factors driving or stalling national development.
Coordination and intelligence gathering. That is where I think the emphasis is, and changing the nature of incentives that even the security personnel use in addressing the challenges before them.
The most significant challenge is the reform of the political system.
A leader that is required for national development needs to be a leader that is very visionary, that has strong patriotism, he has competence, he's optimistic, he has courage. And if you have that kind of leader, then he can mobilize his citizens for a shared objective.
You must build policies based on a good understanding of the context of your people, your history, the pretext, and you must build it based on your own foresight, where you want your people to go. So cut and paste models will not work. They have not worked, and they will not work.
Now the Nigerian equities market closed on a positive note, reversing a three-day losing trend on renewed buying activities in some key stocks. Investors' wealth increased by 424.96 billion naira as market capitalization rose to 89.21 trillion. A total of 767.7 million shares in 25,897 deals, corresponding to a market value of 25.229 billion were traded. Today's data shows 34% improvement in volume, 89% improvement in turnover, and the aggregate 127 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 52 gainers and 13 losers. That is it on a business at this time. But stay tuned as another break beacons.
Sports news is next with Bade.
Many thanks, Lami. The countdown to the 10th installment of Africa's premier mixed martial arts spectacle, the AKO Championship, officially kicked off in Abuja with a press conference and face-off on Friday. Fighters squared up in 10 stare-downs that drew excitement as the public had a rare chance to feel the pulse of the combatants ahead of the fight night. The press conference, which was attended by AKO President Kamaru Usman and Chairman National Sports Commission, Shodiko, was designed to showcase not just the personality of the fighters, but the growing stature of African Knockout as a leading MMA brand on the continent.
Not only entertains us, it's something that gives us hope. It's something that gives us that motivation that we can be better than where we are. And right now, it's no better time to bring this sport to Africa.
Clearly falls within the vision that we have to support to host any tournament that we can. And in the larger context, we are planning to host many big tournaments, even the Commonwealth Games.
I'm feeling great that I'm fighting for the belt.
Tomorrow, it will be a different thing entirely because I'm going to defeat him in a very devastating.
That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Lami.
And that also does it on NTA Network News for tonight. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a good weekend. I am Lami Ali.